Some writers write to make you feel something. Brian Turner in The Hurt Locker, believe it when a 12-year-old rolls a grenade into the room, or when a sniper punches a hole deep into someone's skull. Other writers write to shock you into action. Allen Ginsberg wrote, "I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by madness, starving, hysterical, naked, dragging themselves to the dark streets at dawn looking for an angry fix." And finally, other writers write to make you remember and honor those who have fallen. Seamus Heaney writes, "The hillside blushed, soaked in our broken wave. They buried us without shroud or coffin." Today, I'm going to talk to you about Heaney's presentation of Judgment for the Croppies, and this poem is about a critical point in the Irish Rebellion. At this point in the Irish Rebellion, 20,000 rebels were slaughtered by the British forces on a place called Vinegar Hill. And it was essentially a very powerful piece, and he provided it in such a manner as to allow the audience to understand his point without inclusion of bias. Seamus Heaney was a Northern Ireland poet, and he won the Nobel Prize in 1990. And like I said before, some of the things he said were very powerful. When Heaney writes this poem, he writes it in such a manner as to provide the audience with an opportunity to develop their own bias. So he writes in a very powerful message, but he doesn't write in any form that will allow you to take a position or a side. Additionally, he says himself, the artist is a custodian of human values, of sanity and tolerance. This is his own quote, and this kind of explains why he wrote his poem. And to kind of demonstrate this a little bit, I was wondering if I could get some help. So, Luke, what do you think is the best sport here, and why?
Soccer, is that play?
Okay. And Hallie, what do you think is the best sport here?
I would have to say rugby because it's much more interesting than football.
Okay, so you can see from these two descriptive points of views, it's kind of interesting how Luke includes some bias. It doesn't mean it's a worse description, it's just a different point of view. Heaney does this in Requiem for the Croppies, and for me that's why it carried such a strong personal message. Additionally, he used some literary tools to sear the poem into the mind of the reader. So he uses powerful diction and powerful words to implement his message. So he writes about the farmers, or the rebels, Croppies, having pikes, scythes, and other farming tools. And normally these aren't weapons you usually think of carrying to battlefield. I mean, these are usually weapons that you would use for farming, and it kind of depicts how it was the outright slaughter of these Irish Croppies, because the British were well equipped and well armed, and the Croppies went into battle with hoes and scythes. Additionally, Heaney writes that the hillside blushed, soaked in our broken wave. And he wrote this line in order to personify the blood. So the blood was covered in, or the hill was covered in the blood of the Irish, which is a powerful image if you think about it. Additionally, he uses consonants. So it's a repetition of consonants. So listen to this line and see if you can hear what I'm stressing. Tears thousands died, shaking scythes at cannon. So it's kind of a sharp repeating S sound. And for me, personally, I felt that it sliced the image into my mind. Finally, Heaney's intention was to remember those who had fallen, because a lot of these Croppies were buried in mass graves without any remembrance or memorial. So if you think about it, 20,000 Croppies going against the British forces, thousands of them died and they were stuck in mass graves. An additional interesting fact is they carried barley in their pockets when they marched. And what happened was they died and they were stuck in these mass graves. And what happened was in August, the barley grew up out of their graves. So in an ironic twist, that barley fed the Irish rebellion for years to come. So not only did they give the ultimate sacrifice, but they continued to contribute to the cause, even past their death. Ultimately, I think Heaney's expression of this poem is very powerful, and it's powerful because he presents it in an unbiased way. For me, I got a lot more from his message because the presentation was so unbiased. Just like Hallie and Luke's descriptions of sports, I mean, personally for me, it was a lot more powerful. Thank you.